I'm MJ Day. I'm the editor-in-chief of Sports Illustrated Swimsuit, and I am here today for cover conversations with someone who needs no introduction, Ciara, the multi-dimensional, multi-talented Grammy Award winner, mom, mogul, and all-around boss lady is here with me today because she is on my 2022 Sports Illustrated Swimsuit cover. I'm so happy you're here.
Yay.
So let's have a toast. Cheers.
Okay, so MJ, I have to ask you, what goes into the process for when you are selecting who's going to be on the cover?
You know, as we've evolved as a brand, the cover is increasingly important because it really tells a story, you know, of like what we are trying to move forward with. And it's a huge initiative of ours to empower women and to celebrate women and to move them forward. And when we talked about shooting together, it was a no-brainer for me because we all know very much who you are and what you are and what you continue to do. And it's that type of life and what you project and what you put out there into the world is like what I would love for young girls to see. And not only are you the most incredible person, you're an incredible beauty, but you also have an incredible soul, and you wear that as wonderfully as you did that Mugler, gorgeous, like gloved, you know, blue, electric blue piece that we shot. So it's important for women to know that they're not to be defined anymore by just their outward appearance, that it's about all of that you bring to the table additionally as well, and that's just as beautiful and as important.
The truth of it is having women like you running things and leading the charge is where it starts, because you are going beneath the surface and seeing your passion and excitement and support for me and the things that I have going on as a woman and as a mom, and to have that support means the world. And I love that you talked about the hope for other women. That's pretty awesome.
I love hearing you say that because you said something yesterday on set, actually, while we were shooting, about the Laquan suit that you had on. And you said, this is my like, kind of homage to Ciara because that cover that she did,
the iconic
cover in her leopard print bikini, it spoke to Ciara as a little girl.
It did. Yes, when I saw that cover, it was pretty amazing and really big and empowering because obviously Ciara was the first woman of color to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated. And me being a young, Black girl and seeing that was really inspiring.
You know, it makes me think about your daughter, right? And like, what are you hoping that she sees? Like, when this is like far enough in the rearview mirror for you to see how being a part of this might impact other women and young girls. Like, what is that for you?
Oh my gosh, it's huge. I always say I'm a woman of ambition on a mission. And that's my attitude, right? And I'm gonna go after it. Yes, I'm gonna go after what I want, and I believe I can get it. Like, I'm convinced, right? There's no convincing me, I'm convinced. And so I think about my baby girl and like, this is pretty powerful. And she can see me and say, I can do that.
Exactly.
Many other girls like me can see me and say, I can do that. Exactly. One, obviously being a woman of color, but beyond that, like she was a woman that went after her dreams. She envisioned this just by believing. It's really that simple, and sometimes it's so hard to do that. But I think that's my greatest mission and goal, is to just inspire women everywhere, just like myself, to believe.
Woman of ambition on a mission.
I'm a woman of ambition on a mission.
Can I get that tattooed on my
Tatted on me.
I love that. How do you deal with like something you would maybe quantify as a failure? You know what I mean, in your life? Because that's, I think, so important to a success, to be able to get yourself out of that when you're like disappointed, you know?
Absolutely. Well, I've finally come to a place in my life where I can confidently say that I'm grateful for the failures in my life. I say that because I think about every moment where I persevered and just how much better I came out on the other side. And sometimes, when you're going through the moment of failure, it feels like the world is over. But I'm here to tell you, if you can do your best, put one foot forward every day, you will find a way out. Like, where there's a will, there's a way. And I think the thing for us is, which is sometimes so hard, to learn from our own mistakes. So I made a few mistakes a few times before I learned, don't do that again.
Yeah, right.
Doing the same thing over and over was a form of insanity.
Touching that stove, right?
Don't do.
Okay.
Now you know better. This is the third time now. What you gonna do? That's the mentality that I began to have, and I decided to embrace the challenge. I don't know what's going to be on the other side, or the reaction to what I'm doing, but all I know is, in those moments that I'm excited about what I'm doing, I feel good about what I'm doing, I'm putting my best foot forward with what I'm doing, and that's all I can do.
Exactly.
Right? And just keep learning.
You're so right. You're so right. It's gotten to where you are. You know what I mean? Because you really practice what you preach.
Have to.
And that's important.
So good.
There's another like dynamic to your life too that's like really, I would love to just like shine a little light on, because I think it's so important, is that you have an incredibly supportive spouse.
Yes.
And I think about this a lot for the brand, for Sports Illustrated Swimsuit, because not only are we reaching women, but we're also reaching men when we do this. And men are hearing these messages as well.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think it's important, as a mother of 2 sons myself, and I know you as well.
2 boys, 1 girl.
Exactly. It's very important to raise our young men to be supportive of the women around them and supportive of women in general. And when you have someone supportive like your husband, that should not be lost on anyone, how important that is.
Oh my gosh, it's a blessing. Even when I was coming out here to do the shoot, he was so cute because he was into the whole process with us. Now make sure you know, you gotta give it to him, you know, in his own words. He didn't say it that way, but basically that was the energy, like, you know, like be you. And there's nothing better than having him by my side. And to be able to have someone to go to that you trust, that you know has got your back. Like, I know my baby's got my back. And I got his back like that too. To have that in life is so precious. Like, it's a blessing. Like, I know it's a blessing. So I'm grateful for that. And then obviously us having family together is really, really amazing. You know, I'm grateful for all that we get to do in life together, and his support is amazing, and it's a blessing.
He's really a partner in every sense of the word.
Every sense of the word. Where I think is that there's so much room and opportunity for the world to grow as a whole is when you do have strong men in your life that encourage you and empower you. That support is where change will continue to happen and where we'll continue to grow.
So what I love about all of your businesses is that you have created this infrastructure to also give back, and you really are thinking of everybody, not just from the consumer standpoint, but also from the philanthropic standpoint. So I'd love to hear more about that, because for me, with this brand, when we do what we do on the editorial side of it, I'm always thinking about how it could have positive effect on others.
Yeah.
And I bet you probably feel the same way.
Oh, 100%. All the creative, cool things I get to do, there's gotta be something more to it. And for me, that mission is to impact, you know, and I think by being blessed to see the opportunity to impact, whether it's through our Why Not You Academy, which is a charter school that Russell and I have. And, you know, when you know that kids wake up and choose to be at school because they don't pay for their tuition, like all that's covered. When you know that that's happening and you're part of creating the infrastructure for them to do that, knowing that that educational opportunity is going to pay forward for their lives and for their children's lives and their children's lives, like we're driven to do that. And then I think about, you know, when we're able to visit kids at the Seattle Children's Hospital or hospitals in general, right? When you get to have that moment to pray with them or to also raise money for research, and knowing that it actually works and knowing that it's real is another reason why I'm driven, you know? And then you're thinking about poverty, like that's one of our focuses for our Why Not You Foundation. And at our Why Not You Foundation, we believe in empowering the youth to lead with a why not you attitude, right? We were those kids that said, why not you? Why not me? Why can't I go and be all these things that I want to be? Like, why not? Even if I didn't have much, like still, I have the biggest dream in the world and that's all I need. I just need to believe in it. Why not? So when you think about that, you just feel so compelled to give.
You really do put out into the world what you've received, you know, and you really are paying it forward. As someone of your status, as someone of your stature, as someone that is of your reach, like you have profound impact on so many people just by existing, you know? And you use that responsibility not only to pursue your own hopes and dreams and goals, but to also pay it forward for others and to give others opportunity as well, which it's like a spider web of success then, right? And whether it's appearing on this cover or having a clothing line, the impactful way that you're living your life is so admirable. And I just like, thank you for that. And that is gold standard behavior. And so we're trying to replicate that here at Sports Illustrated Swimsuit. We're starting a program called Pay with Change, actually with our brand. And this is the maiden voyage of that. I think it's so appropriate that you are representing this brand in this capacity, given we're pursuing this and we're saying we will only partner with brands and companies now that actively promote, support, empower, and move women forward.
I love that.
And we're not gonna highlight your product on our pages, but we're gonna highlight your initiative as a brand. The more it's celebrated and the more it's championed and the more it's respected, the more people are gonna get on board. And little by little, it's going to be the new normal.
Joy is contagious, you know, and when you give back, there's a sense of joy that you get, and it inspires you to want to give more.
Yes.
And then you get to also pass on joy when you're giving back as well, which is huge. You know, you're raising the bar, and again, it takes people like yourself and the team that you have to have that mentality to make a difference. Like, think about all the great first moments in the world or in our lives, and just how pivotal those moments were and how important those moments were, and sometimes how big of a risk you had to take for those moments, right? Sometimes you have to step out on faith, and you have to step out and be willing to take a risk to make change. So that's what it's
birds
about.
of a feather flock together. So here we are. And you know what? Like, to me, you are so synonymous with all the good in the world and all the things that we want to champion here at Sports Illustrated Swimsuit.
Thank you so much. This has been a special experience, like across the board. And I think what's really powerful is you never know who the man or the woman is behind certain things. In this case, I got to meet you, and I just feel inspired being here with you. And I'm excited to see all the lives you're going to continue to change. And also at Sports Illustrated, it's an honor to be a part of it.
Well, we couldn't be happier.
Let's go.
Let's read some
Let's get it. Woo.